I'm going to put broccoli in the quiches that I'm going to make. So I'm going to steam it a little bit first so that it's not raw when I put it in. So I've got this little vegetable steamer that you can get fairly cheaply, maybe even at the dollar store. And you just set that into a pot with a little bit of water, and you put it on high, and that's going to boil. And meanwhile, I chopped up a bunch of broccoli. It's good to just have it in little pieces like this, even, you know, same size pieces. Cutting board, a good knife. And I'm going to turn it down a little bit because we don't need it to maximum, so I'm going to turn it about halfway, and then I'm just going to put all my broccoli in there. This is a good healthy way to cook broccoli because it doesn't overcook it, and you still keep quite a bit of the vitamins. Put the lid on. So this has been about 5 or 6 minutes. And the broccoli is just barely cooked. You don't want it overcooked because then it's not that tasty anymore. Just dump it out into this strainer here. We don't want it to be watery, so we're going to drain it out a little bit. This is for one of the quiches. I'm going to make a ham and cheese quiche, and I've just bought, instead of buying a whole ham, I've just bought a piece of ham. It's a smoked ham, so I think that means it's cooked. It doesn't really need to be cooked. Is that right, Kelly? Yep. Yeah. So you could use it like this. So I'm just going to use this knife and a cutting board, and I'm going to cut it up into just little chunks, little squares. So first I'll cut it into long strips like this, and then I'll turn it over, and a few pieces at a time I'll cut like that. You just need maybe about 1 centimeter. That's what they would have them about that size. So what other ingredients you need for sure? I have taken a little shortcut, and I bought already made pie crust. You can buy them in the freezer. They look something like this. There usually is 2 in a box. I bought the deep dish ones because they're a little bit more deep, so you can put more stuff in them, better for quiche. So look for the deep dish ones. I'm also going to use some cheese. I'm going to use cheese in both of these, but I bought 2 different kinds of cheese. I bought cheddar cheese to go with the broccoli, and I bought Swiss cheese to go with the ham. So I'm just going to grate some of this cheese up. It's nice to have one of these graters too. If I was to answer again a handy kitchen gadget, a box grater is definitely up there. I'll probably use most of this, so I think I'll grate the whole thing. I need more than 1 cup of cheese for the whole quiche. I have my cheese all grated up, 2 different kinds of cheese. I got my ham all cut up. I've got my pie crusts thawed. I've got my broccoli steamed. I also bought a dozen eggs. I think I'll probably only need about 8 for two quiches. I also have some salt and some evaporated milk. Don't get it confused with sweetened condensed milk. You won't get the same result. So just evaporated milk. I probably won't need both cans, but I've got, it's good, better to have more than not enough. So I'm going to preheat the oven right now at about, I usually do it at about 350, I guess. So I need 4 eggs. So I bought free run eggs. They're more expensive, but maybe a little more conscious. So 1 egg. Sometimes it's a good idea when you have many eggs to break them in a separate thing first. This is a tip. I'll do it just in case. Every once in a while you'll get 1 egg that's kind of funny, so you don't want to ruin all the other eggs, so you do it like that. 4 eggs. I'm going to use a whisk and beat these eggs. Okay, so that's probably fine. Now I'm going to get some of this evaporated milk. Easy to open the can with one of these can openers with the little sharp thing here. Sharp end. Put 2 holes in it like that. The other one's just for air. So I will probably measure about a cup. I'm not sure how much is in this can, but I usually put about a cup, I think. So I'll take that and I'll add most of it to the egg. See what it looks like. That should be okay. Okay. Now this is where you can make any kind of quiche you want, but I'll show you the first one. Will be broccoli and cheddar. So I'll just put some of this cooked broccoli in. I probably won't need the whole head of broccoli. That should be alright. Maybe that's a bit much. There. Like that. And now, I forget which one's cheddar. I think this one's cheddar. I'm just going to put a bunch of cheese in here. Okay. And I should be able to pour most of this in here. If not, then I will use it for the next one. So this is probably one of the easiest ways to do it. Least amount of mess. Mostly fit in there. Get it as full as you can. But remember that it could possibly spill out when you try to get it into the oven. What I should have done before is have this already on. Whoa! See, I made a little mess. Not a big deal. So do that. Wipe it off the tray for sure because that'll bake on there and it'll be kind of gross. So now I'm going to assemble the ham and cheese quiche, and I'm going to do it a little better than I did the first one. I already have it in the tray, so I'm just going to put a bunch of the ham that I already cut up. That's a lot of ham. And this is the Swiss cheese. I'll put that in there. You can put as much as you want. Now I'm going to do the same thing with another batch of the egg mixture that I made. And one step I skipped last time was I don't add much for spices, but I usually season with at least salt and pepper. A nice bit of pepper. And this doesn't need very much salt at all. You got to think about the other ingredients that you put in there, because you put really salty cheese and really salty ham, so you won't need to, you can always add some later. So that's it. I'll put that in the oven with the other one. And that's not going to work, so I have to do it this way. I just have to. But that should be okay. Both in there. Reset my timer. We'll check them after 45 minutes, see where they're done. See if they're ready. I have my oven mitts, another thing that's very handy to have. Get those at the dollar store. So now I'd say they're more than halfway done. I haven't gone, they've been there for about 30 minutes. They've puffed up. They're starting to get a little bit brown. I might move them around because it looks like the one on top is getting a little more heat than the one at the bottom. So I'll just move them around up here. You're allowed to do that. So there you go. So I think maybe that will be better now, and we'll check them again in another 15 minutes or so. Okay, so my timer's gone off and I'm going to check these out, and they look pretty done to me. So I don't have a real trick to tell how they're done. Mostly if they've been in, this one's been in here for about 50 minutes. You'll see that they're nice and golden brown and they're nice and puffed up, and when you touch it, don't touch it, it's very hot, but it bounces back. It's nice and firm. So I think that these are both done. And if you leave them in there too long, the crust might burn. So you don't want to leave them in there too long, but you want to make sure that the egg is all cooked. This one seems pretty done also. So we're going to take those both out, turn off the oven, and let them cool, I would say, for at least 20 minutes before you do anything with them. You could just leave them right like that, or put them on a cookie sheet, a bit, let a little bit more air get around them. This one's a little bit stuck, just like that. And there you go. We'll come back in 15 minutes and cut them open.